Good afternoon. If you're joining us live or catching up on a later recording, we really appreciate you being here. So again, thank you. My name is Katie Joe, or KJ Swagert. I'm the Director of Strategic Solutions for Managed Sales here at Redwood Logistics. I'm joined again today by my partner in crime, the fabulous Natalie O'Hara. And Natalie is our Director of Strategic Sales for Parcel Managed Sales. As a reminder, Natalie and I work with clients by providing unique solutions on the Redwood Parcel Advisory team, which includes contract optimization, negotiation coaching, audit, business intelligence, analytics, carrier diversification modeling, and continuous improvement. Just a few things. We're very excited to be back today with our second live in our series. Nat, how's it going? And what do we have in store today for everybody, my friend?
Thanks, KJ. It's going well. Today, we have the honor of being joined by Jared Black and Michael O'Loughlin from World Market. Jared and Michael, thanks for being here. How's it going?
Thank you. Thank you for having us. Doing well.
Yep, doing good. Thank you for having us. It's fantastic. Can't wait to get into this. This is going to be exciting and fun.
Well, we appreciate you guys joining us from the West Coast. Go ahead and introduce yourselves. Give us a brief background and, of course, your roles at World Market.
Sure. My name is Michael O'Loughlin. I've been at World Market for about 9 years. Started with customer service and demand planning, and moved over to take over the e-com fulfillment and home delivery, so LTL and parcel. Before that, I was with Amazon for about 7 years, reverse logistics and contract management, managing the facilities, and before that, Walmart logistics and reverse logistics.
It's a great background.
Well, I've been with the company for 27 years. So started when I was about 5. I started with World Market as a temporary employee, just lumping freight out of receiving containers out on the floor. Did pretty much anything you can think out in the warehouse. I did get a seasonal temporary position with the logistics department back in 2020, 2021, and I've been with the logistics ever since. So technically, I'm still seasonal. It's a long 20-year-long season, but here I am, and enjoying every minute of it. I love logistics, and I love problem solving. That's pretty much what logistics is when you're working in retail and all world partners all around. So yes, absolutely.
Perfect. Well, thank you both. We really appreciate you joining us today. As you know, a few weeks ago, we kicked off our Parcel Holiday Shipping Series here at Redwood. This series has included blog posts preparing customers for peak season, as well as following along while the parcel carriers have made their holiday surcharge and schedule announcements. Mm-hmm. At World Market, you two are hardly strangers to a demanding parcel operation, and your holiday volumes typically increase 3 to 4 times. So we figured who better to speak about their parcel holiday preparation than you two. So starting from the top, tell us your story about how you guys prepare for the holidays.
We can go all the way to the beginning. We're about a year. We roughly go about a year into prior. So for 2024, it really starts around 2023. We have our buyers out there all over the world looking at what they think is the hottest item, what's going to sell the best, getting those products in from overseas, domestic, making sure we have the right quantity for the right stores. A lot of analytics into certain volumes can go into certain markets. You have certain things that can sell great in one area of the country and some not in the other. Nyackers, for example, or Kneeackers in Texas, everybody loves them. So we have so many of the shipments of that going in there. So it kind of starts from there, getting the right product, what we think is going to sell for that. And then in turn, making sure we're getting the right amount and then getting into our DCs in a timely manner to hit our loads that are going out to our stores and get those on the shelf and in the back rooms of the store so they can ship off directly to the customer and buying online and getting what they need.
Wow. Just a few ways to attack it, a few angles, right? Like you have all the end receivers, they all look different and different regional strategies. So it definitely takes a lot of preparation on that side for sure.
Absolutely.
E-com, we have it a little bit easier. It's a shorter cycle. We really start in July, August, starting with demand planning. So it's driven by forecast by the IM team, and so we start that demand planning and look at labor plans and space allocation. You want to prioritize SKUs in certain locations for the high velocity SKUs for easy picks. So it's simple. It's almost like a block and tackle kind of approach to ensuring that you're ready in the DCs. So you build those labor plans, and the last thing you're doing is you're building your carrier, your daily package capacity planning with the carriers, and working closely with the carriers to ensure that you get the capacity you want. And best way to do that is be the first one in the forecast. So the earlier you are, the more likely you're going to get somebody's attention. So that's the basics for e-com planning there.
I think, Michael, that's a really good point. And those of us that come from the parcel side, we know our customers or our shippers that come to the carriers early with a good plan and make those asks for, operational or volume or capacity early are usually the ones that get what they need. So I think that's a great tip. The earlier you can kind of open that door to communication, the better for our shippers, for sure.
Absolutely. And working with our partners, the carrier partners, they're not just limited to just a small parcel from our DCs or our fulfillment centers. One aspect that we have is where our product is shipping from our stores and going direct to our customers. So we also look at what stores are having more volume, the bigger back rooms, we can pour more product into it. And then we also look at our domestic carriers that deliver from our distribution centers to our stores, making sure we have the right carriers in line that are going to make those on-time delivery to those stores. We also look, do we need to increase amount of deliveries going into that store so we can keep it replenished during the season schedule? And we have a number of stores that we are delivering multiple times just to add into that volume of the freight that's coming from the stores going directly to the customers.
For sure.
And to add from parcel leaving the stores, if trying to get the automated scheduled pickups is a challenge anytime after the middle of October. So if you can get everything to your FedEx rep prior to mid-October, you're more likely to get operations to support you.
That's
Absolutely.
a great tip.
That's an amazing tip, especially for your store locations, right? They're already aware of your DCs. That's not usually the issue, but that unique model that you have at World Market, you can definitely see where that would become an issue. What type of contingency plans, in addition to planning early, but what other type of contingency plans do y'all have in place for peak season?
Hope.
That's the most important one.
It really is.
Cross your fingers and hope.
Exactly. From the parcel side, I think there's enough capacity in the networks to where we're single sourcing with FedEx. So we're relying on them and their capacity. So that's why we work closely with them to ensure that we have the lift that we need.
Yeah. And as far as staffing goes, any other type of contingency plans inside your DCs, at the stores, anything else you have in play for that peak increase in volume?
I think the initial labor plans, but then having the flexibility to increase or decrease as necessary is on the temporary associates is key. If you're talking 2 or 3 years ago, you were stuck. I mean, it was a difficult market to get people into the building. But again, I hate using the term again, but we're hoping that this year the labor market is a little bit better to where you can get people and maintain the same people through the season, so you have continuity.
Sure.
Absolutely. And also working with our carrier partners as well, complete transparency, looking at past trends and what we think the trend's going to be for certain markets, and just ensuring that, and just having confidence in your partners as well, making sure that they're going to deliver at the right amount of time. We're going to have the product available to them at the right amount of time when it needs to leave the facilities that they're leaving from, whether it's a store or fulfillment centers. But continuous partnership, open communication, and just real clear transparency is one of the benefactors of making it so successful. And kind of keeping those contingency plans at bay so you don't have to break that glass and pull that out when needed.
Good point.
Great point. And Jared, I know you introduced this a little bit previously in the conversation, but you are using that unique distribution model at World Market. You're not only leveraging your DCs for your outbound shipping, but you also utilize your stores for distribution direct to your customers. You've talked a little bit about how that might be adapted during peak, but we have a lot of customers who are interested in that model for zone skipping. Tell us a little bit about how you established that network model.
It's a combination of things, which is kind of can be a standard process. You're looking at the geographical areas. You're looking at also your carrier partners and listening to them as what would be the best store to, say, ship from. If I have a handful of stores, say like in Dallas, for an example, I say, okay, this store has a unique back room. We can probably utilize that. But working with our partners saying, well, if you utilize this store a little out there, say like in a Fort Worth, and I'm just using these cities as an example, you're going to have your better cost per mile in your certain zones that you're delivering from. So it's looking at the geographical areas. It's also looking at the size abilities of the back rooms of the stores, the labor force of the stores, and also just listening to what our partners have to say on like, this is your best scenario in shipping from here and delivering from here. And that could change. We can have seasonality to that. I mean, it could be Q1 through 2, this is your best scenario. But when you're switching into your season, you might want to either add this store or move a lot of this volume from this store to this store in this geographical area. So that really does play a factor. It's again, I'm going to probably keep saying this, but it's really open communication and transparency and just making sure everybody's really on the same page. For the most part, holding hands as we're going through the season and just getting a product to the customer in a timely manner.
Love that.
Yeah, and to add to that, I mean, that there is risk also that you can overwhelm a store really easy with volume. You know, if you look at that, so it's putting guardrails in place, both to protect your inventory models, the walk-in customer, and still make sure that you can service the online customer at the same time. So there are some risks to the model that need to be considered before you step into it.
And I would assume that anticipating those risks early is another part of, making sure you don't have to break the glass for that contingency plan.
Exactly.
Absolutely. And looking down those sales on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, and being able to react pretty quickly. Again, what I said earlier about identifying those stores where we can ship to in multiple times throughout the week. So we start seeing those trends, and we want to protect that inventory. We start seeing that we have a lot of product that's moving parcel to the customer, but also, like Mike had mentioned, we have our customers that we want to bring into our stores. We love having that brick and mortar model. We love having that buy online, ship from store, pick up at store. We want our customers inside that. So again, protecting that model and be able to react quickly and get that freight on the very next truck and get it to the stores as fast as possible.
Love that. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. As far as you've talked about it a little bit before, but what top strategies, aside from just transparency and really good partnership with your carriers, but what top strategies do you think contribute to that successful supply chain during peak season? What else?
Jared, you want to go?
Yeah, and I can get repetitious in what I'm saying. It really goes again to partnerships as well. It's partnering with your store operations, your inventory management, and also a main factor we probably didn't really bring up a lot is our distribution operations as well. Listening to what they have to say on their labor force and the models and how they want to process the product when it needs to get to the store, and just kind of adapting to the model as needed. And that's one thing that World Market does pretty good is we don't set a standard and just kind of lock it in place. And okay, now you just got to adapt. You just got to work around that model. We're able to go in there and adjust as needed. Okay, if this worked this week, but it may not work this week, and we can put it back into place the very next week. But really partnerships with all the major players, store operations, inventory management, visual teams, and distribution centers, as well as outside with partners and the transparency that I spoke about.
Perfect.
And don't forget
Hope, yeah. Gotta say hope.
A lot of hope.
And hope is what's behind that glass.
Yes.
Perfect. This is excellent insight, you guys. We have, of course, to bring just a little bit of humor in because supply chain teams in the retail space, y'all go through a lot during peak season. With all of your years in this industry, can you guys share with us one funny, awful, unbelievable situation that you've dealt with during peak?
Yeah, we were talking about this. There's one that a few years ago where there was no power from ports. There was no transportation from ports to our DCs.
Mm-hmm.
This is when I was at Walmart, and so we had toys just sitting on the dock. And one of the things teaming up at the time, sad to say, Yellow Freight, teaming up with Yellow Freight, we identified that the moving van lines had excess power during December, so we teamed up with United Van Lines to get the power to move product in a timely fashion. So I think it's just thinking outside the box. I think is the key to that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Creative solution there. Wow.
It is. Yeah. Glad the toys were still there when they got there.
I thought you were going to go a different direction. The toys were on the dock and then they disappeared or something.
Yeah,
I
wasn't thinking you were getting those back.
No. Yeah, I guess it's not too humorous, but it's a good story that again, just being creative and open and just let the problem solve itself.
For sure.
Well, any problems during peak technically aren't funny. We were just wanted to hear an example, right? Because that's happening. Michael and Jared, thank you both so much for being with us today. We know how busy you both already are as you prepare for peak season. And of course, we'll be sending you a few spoonfuls of hope, but we know that you guys are well prepared for this peak season, but we will definitely be thinking about you guys.
Thank you.
Yeah,
thank you for having us. This is fantastic. Love sharing insight with y'all, and thank you again for the opportunity to speak today.
Absolutely.
For sure. And before you guys go, we have to end with a little bit more fun. We ended this with our last live, and I put Natalie on the spot. We didn't put you guys on the spot this time. Gave you a little bit of time to think about it. But we talked about what your walk-up song would be. And so imagine you're like walking up to home plate or into a conference room, whatever. And we had asked you guys to think about it. So we're curious, what would your walk-up song be? Michael, let's start with you and your walk-up song.
Jimi Hendrix Voodoo Doll, and I stuck to the baseball theme, and it was Mike Piazza. Back in the day was his walk-up song, so I just had to go with it.
That's fantastic. Jared, you thought about yours as well. What would yours be?
I did. It's going to go back to a reference I mentioned earlier where problem solving. I love the problem solving aspect of it, being in logistics. I love it when people come to me and said, okay, here we have a problem, an issue. How are we going to do it? So when I think of that and I think of walking up to that plate, I think of the Darth Vader thing. So when you hear that Darth Vader theme coming, you know something's going to happen, and it's going to get done, and you're going to nail it. So that's the theme I would go because you know it's going to happen. You come to Jared, you're going to get it done.
I love this so much.
Nail it.
You gotta nail it.
Gotta nail it. That's great. Those are perfect answers, you guys. Like, again, can't express enough how much we appreciate the time, the insight, the conversation. Thanks again to everyone else out there for tuning in and watching. Feel free, as we shared before, to connect with us directly. Drop any questions about the series or Redwood Parcel Advisory in the chat. We have more blogs and announcements, some which are coming out actually later today via LinkedIn and on our series landing page. So please be on the lookout for that. Lastly, for those of you out there in the industry who are attending Parcel Forum in Dallas next week, we know that World Market will be there. Natalie will also be attending, so keep your eyes out for her. Have a great day, everybody, and thanks again.
Thank you.